Hey everybody, Steve again. I got a Walther P22 to show you today. It's a 22 pistol. I've enjoyed shooting this gun. I've had some issues with the gun. I'll show you those at the end of the video. All in all, it's a pretty good gun, pretty well made. But let's get right into it and show you some issues that you're going to deal with. Make sure the gun's unloaded. She's clear. Now, first thing you're going to want to do is lock the slide back. And at that point, if you're like me, you got a little bit of a thumbnail on there, you can pop the lock down. It's hard to just pull straight down. If you get your thumbnail in there, it'll pop right down. At that point, if you give it a little push on the back with your thumb, pop her right up. Or you can just pull up on it at the same time you're pulling it. And she just comes right apart. The problem is not getting it apart, it's getting it back together. I watched a lot of videos when I got this gun, and I'd go to put it back together and just fought this thing. Now, I'm going to show you what I didn't see on a single video that I watched. First thing, you need to understand, without fighting the spring, speaking of the spring, you can turn it any way you want. Doesn't make a difference which way it goes in. You can't get any of this wrong. I'll cover that again later. This gun, you need to understand how it works without the spring, because once you start fighting that spring, if you don't understand how this gun slips into place, how that first notch drops down at about 5/16, quarter inch, sticking on the protruding from the barrel end of this on the slide. If you understand that it pops right down past that first notch right there, then you push on back, it pops into place, and that the hammer keeps the back of it cocked up so it doesn't want to slide forward. Once the spring's in place on this, it's not so bad getting it forward as you squeeze it. Right now you're just going to give it a squeeze. Give it a squeeze, and that's the best way to get it in the camera. Give that a squeeze with your forefinger and your thumb and get her going forward, and she'll pop into place. You're not going to be doing that, and just for practicing purposes. Now, before I pop it all back together, if that screw is the slightest bit loose, once you get it apart, when the gun's shooting, it'll shoot forever with that screw loose. As soon as you go to clean it, the gun won't go back together because it will block the slide. It's that tight a fit. Now, first time I took it out and shot it, the thread guard for the barrel on the end fell off. And it took me a while to find it and get it back on. It takes a special tool. Be aware of that. Basically, you might want to check, make sure the screws are tight, or the screw is tight on this gun. You would think only one screw they'd have got it right, but on this gun they didn't. The pin goes to the back. Can't walk and talk at the same time. Now, when I put this thing back together, make sure you don't bump this guy back into place. She won't go back together if that lock gets up. Start the spring first. Get that in the gun, in the camera. The spring needs to kind of bow towards you, and the way I do it, so I can see it. If it's bowing the other way, you're going to have a little trouble seeing it. Get the barrel started and the pin started. At that point, if you pull up on the barrel a little bit, pulling up that direction as you're sliding it on, it'll go right on. If you're pushing down, doesn't like to go on. At the 1/4 inch mark, you're going to hit the first notch on the slide. Keep going, and then that's what it does. I'm not holding anything. I give it a grip, and she pops forward. And I got it out of the camera. You get that, get it back in the camera, give that a squeeze down, and she pops forward. Okay? At that point, you lock it back into place. So, it's a fun gun to shoot. If you don't understand it, you'll be cussing it when you go to try and put it back together after you clean it. Hope this helped you out. If it did, you might think about giving it a thumbs up, maybe hitting that bell and subscribing. Have a nice day.